Shalom everyone, and we are on Parashat Hayei Sarah. You can find it in the book of Genesis, chapter 23, verse 1. This is a very powerful parasha, very meaningful to the whole year, not just for this special week. And let's see how can we understand the message of this parasha. The parasha is starting with Vayu Hayei Sarah 100 shana ו20 shana ו7 shanim. And the life of Sarah were 100 year single, ו20 shana 20 year single, ו7 shanim 7 years plural. Shnei Hayei Sarah. The years of the life of Sarah. But Shnei could mean in Hebrew also two, the two lives of Sarah. What does that mean? The story is that the parasha is about the death of Sarah. However, it's named the life of Sarah. So what do we do with it? First of all, we have to understand Parashat Hayei Sarah is about one of the most amazing ideas we can use in order to improve our lives. And what it is? What is it? We live in an era in which stress is so high in all means. It's like people are stressful from work, health, politics, you just name it. The levels of stress are so high that people need so many medications, treatments, workshops in order to overcome stress or to learn how to live with it. The amount of people that are depressed and they need all kinds of treatments to overcome those negative emotions, the amount of people that are angry, and because of that, they accumulate so many diseases, especially heart diseases. Already there today, it's already starting in the 30s and 40s. Now, what kind of a solution? What kind of a remedy do we have for this terrible era that people are so discontent from everyday's life? And the answer is like this. The Zohar explains about why do we relate to Sarah like this is the life of Sarah. What is that life of Sarah that we need to learn from? And the Holy Zohar says as follows. In the Zohar Parasha, in Perusha Sulam, Rabbi Ashleg's commentary, verse 19, it says as follows, in the Aramaic, Tachazei, come and see. Atat chava le'alma idabkat be'ai chivya, v'atel bazohama, ve'garma muta le'alma, u'leva'ala. Come and see. When Eve came to the world, she attached to the snake, and he put dirt and filth in Eve. And she brought, because of that, death to the world and death to her husband. But the next half is, Atat Sarah v'nachatat v'salkat v'lai dabkat bei. When Sarah came to the world, she descended to the place of darkness, and she ascended, but the darkness did not stick to her. What's the meaning of these words? When the world was created, we, humanity, our essence, our souls, have been created, according to the Kabbalists, as vessels of desire, so we can desire God's bliss, joy, and pleasure, and we can enjoy it. So the purpose of the whole creation is God's will to share his bliss, his light, and pleasure with us. So that's why, not just that we are supposed to be happy and to have joy, that's our duty, that's our purpose, that's our calling. And if we are not, according to the sages, if we are not, or when we are not, following that mission to be happy and to enjoy, we just go against the creation and against the Creator himself. Now, as Adam and Eve are being created, and Adam and Eve, it's all of humanity. We were all part of Adam and Eve. The first stage is called the Garden of Eden. What's the Garden of Eden? It's a place, not a physical place, but a frequency. It's a realm in which the souls of humanity were united together in one mission, which is to observe the Garden of Eden and to work it. And what's the work? The work was to connect to the fruits of the tree of life, the Sephirot, one by one, level by level, and to suck in, receive God's light, but not in a selfish manner. Why? Because we were created by the endless light of the Creator. We were created with the desire to receive and enjoy that light. However, when we were fulfilled with that, just as we were created, we were instilled also with the nature of the Creator. And we could not, we could not receive any more for free without making any effort for it. Why? Because when it says that we were created in the image of God, there's no physical image, but there's a mental image. God is independent, and that's why we enjoy being independent. We suffer when we are not. God is creative, and that's why we enjoy being free to create. And God is a sharing being, and therefore we need to share in order to complete ourselves. So you cannot meet dependent people or are dependent or addicted that are happy. You cannot find lazy, non-creative people who are happy, and you cannot find selfish people who are happy, because we need to be independent, creative, and sharing in order to connect to our inner being. And by this, by the law of affinity, we can connect to the endless light of the Creator. How did we do that in the Garden of Eden? So the sages teach us that in the Garden of Eden, Adam and Eve were connecting to the fruits of the tree of life, which are basically the Sephirot, the levels of illumination, and each one of them connecting to it, we fulfilled ourselves with that light, but with one condition. We received it not because we need it, not because we have to have it, not because we desire it, but because the Creator created us to receive it. And because of that, because of our love to the Creator, we received His light and His pleasure in order to fulfill our purpose. We did it for Him. That was our desire to receive for the sake of sharing. If you want to define it with the words of Rabbi Ashlag, the founder of the modern Kabbalah movement. So, when Adam and Eve arrived to that level in which they wanted to connect to the tree of knowledge, which meant connecting to all of it all together, they were not ready for it. You know, it is when you have this thing that pushes you to finish before it's time, right? When it's not ripe enough. Okay, that's what we did. And what was the problem? The first bite, the sages teach us, the first bite was with the right consciousness we receive that light to please the Creator. But we didn't have enough ability to overcome the surge of joy that came in. And the second bite was because, as it says in the Torah, it was lust and passion. We wanted it so much for ourselves. The desire to receive for oneself alone, selfishness, egotism, came out of potential state into actual state. The moment that happened, the whole Garden of Eden state crushed into the state that we know is a state of existence of humanity, what we call reality, what the Kabbalah calls it, the world of illusion. So there is the world of the tree of life, and there's the world of illusion. In the world of illusion, we are addicted to death. That was the curse, the punishment, because it says, as God tells Adam, from the tree of life in the garden you can eat, but from the tree of knowledge do not eat, because on the day you'll eat from it, you will surely die. But Adam passed away, says Genesis, in the age of 930. This is not a threat. This is not a punishment. However, the Zohar explains to us, what does it mean, death? In our reality, the reality of the angel of death, every time we fall, every time we stumble, we die a little bit. Every time we get angry, anger is a connection to the angel of death. The sages say in the Talmud, Kol hakoes ki'ilu oved avodah zarah. Being angry, it's idol worshipping. Why? Because at that moment, you're totally addicted to being right, to be upset, to the anger, to the inflammation of the anger. And the anger could be out of hurt, and doesn't matter because you're right and somebody else is not. It does not matter. The moment we let that emotion to take over, this is when we invite the angel of death. At that moment, we're addicted to death, and being angry does not make you happy, does not make you smart, doesn't make you healthy. And we know that anger is one of the main reasons of so many diseases, especially coronary disease, because it is, as the Zohar says, an inflammation that comes from a mental state of bringing in the angel of death. But also being a victim, okay? Being upset because you're right, being depressed because you were hurt. All of these is subjugation to the angel of death. And that is what this world is about. So for 2,000 years after the sin, the Zohar is teaching us, the world was in wondering, which means not sense of wonder, but wondering what we're here for. Life is so depressing, so upsetting, so negative, so angering and dark with no hope. Because wherever you look, it's like the religion was idol worshipping, which means you voluntarily subjugated yourself to emotions of negativity that basically killed the desire to live. No wonder people lived such a short life. But then, 2,000 years later, Abraham and Sarah come to the world, and they descend to this world with a message: monotheism. There's one great God, endless light of love and happiness. And we were created in his image, and therefore, no one has the right, not even the king, not even a priest, not even in the name of religion and God himself, nobody has the right to deprive us from our right for happiness. Because we are all one, we are all part of that God. We all have the image of God within us. We all godly sparks. Okay? Their life brought to the world the idea that, yes, a righteous person is the person who falls, collapses, but he gets up. Why? Because he's aware that his main duty is to correct, to fix what Adam and Eve messed up. That was Abraham and Sarah. That is their legacy. And that legacy is about, as we said, they descended and ascended without allowing the idol worship to detain them or to destroy their lives. ומשום שאברהם ושרה לא נדבקו בסטרי החיים, because Abraham and Sarah did not attach themselves to the dark side, זכתה שרה לחיים עליונים לה ולבעלה ובניה אחריה. Sarah merited divine life for her, to her husband and whoever followed her. So following Abram and Sarah has a very, very distinct benefit. Nowadays, just the study of the life and the legacy of Abram and Sarah. This is what the Torah is about. It is, first of all, to remove idol worshiping from ourselves. And what does it mean? Yes, we cannot prevent the fall. Okay? A righteous person is not somebody who never falls. A righteous person is the person that falls, but is aware that he fell. Which means if he's getting angry, he's looking at that anger and saying, that's not part of my life. And he ascends above it. It will take him 2 months, 2 minutes, and maybe 2 years, 20 years, 2 lifetimes. But the moment we have the conviction that we are not supposed to subjugate ourselves to the angel of death, this is the beginning of true life. That's what it means that Sarah had 2 lives. She had one life, which was, she was a human being in a human body. If she got scratched, she could bleed. She had to worry about livelihood, sustenance, about her family, everything, whatever we have to take care of, she took care of. And so about Abram. However, she never allowed that to take control over her life, which means the fear of loss, the fear of pain, the anger because you're right and somebody else is not right, because somebody insulted you. But just a second, don't we live in a very similar era? What if somebody insults you and you tell everybody, you know what? I woke up in the morning and I decided that today I'm going to feel happy, uplifted, and because I believe in goodness and love. And he wants me, that person that insulted me, wants to take me to a place of remorse and pain. I don't want to go there. If you speak like this, people will think that you are insane, because the world religion is idol worshiping. Either you're upset about real stuff that happened in your private life. If not, then you'll be upset about because of the news. You'll be upset about because the news instigate you to fight, to be upset about the wrong people, the wrong opinions, and then you're upset. And you're religiously upset. And you think it's your religious duty to be upset and angry about the bad guys. No, that is idol worshiping. If we want to connect to the tree of life, we have to be aware that those emotions do not belong here. We have to overcome, remove, transform them into emotions of love, appreciation, sharing, creativity, and so on. We know today more and more people realize when you go to all kinds of workshops of success and so on, it's all about you have to choose to be excited, to be happy, and being upset, a victim, and so on. It's not an option. It's not an option. Can we do that? It's not about if we can do it. We have no option. We have to do it. If you don't do it now, you have to do it later. If not, you die upset and miserable, not like Sarah. Oh, let's read about Abraham. By the end of the parasha, Abraham passes on. And what does it say? Those amazing words. Chapter 25 in Genesis, verse 8. Vayigva vayamot Avraham beSeiva tova zaken v'savea. And Abraham expired and died in old age, okay, good age, old and satiated. Can you imagine? An old person saying, it was so good. I'm so full. I had everything I wanted. I'm happy. I'm fulfilled. I'm excited. I'm full of pleasure. It's time to live. Isn't that a way to go? It's a way to go there was a great sage in the Hasidic movement, 19th century, Rab Zusha, brother of Rabbi Elimelech of Anipoli, of Lizhansk, and Rab Zusha of Anipoli. And he used to say, you have to train all your life in order to be able to die in the right way. Which means all your life, you just stick to the joy and love of God, and nothing can get you upset or confused about what your goals are. If you do that, you achieve a correction, not just of your own negativity and fails. You correct the sin of Adam and Eve. And that is our purpose, because we're here to be happy, and we know we're structured for that. How do you know that? What happens to our body when we're upset? When we're angry, we spoke when we're angry, we can develop very early coronary disease. Other emotions, trauma, whatever, you get diabetes. And it's already known. There's a direct connection between trauma, pain, and volunteering to be subjugated and addicted to that pain with all kinds of diseases. So, Sarah is teaching us that we as humans, we can have a double life, like she did, like Abraham did. A double life means that, yes, we make money, we deal, we sell, we buy. People cheat us, step on us, okay? We make mistakes and we hurt other people, but we do not choose to be subjugated to the angel of death. We choose again and again, day by day, hour by hour, minute by minute, to be exalted, to ascend, to transform the pain into excitement, to kill the angel of death, and to connect to the Garden of Eden, to the tree of life. This is our purpose. And if we do that, just being aware, Rav Ashlag is saying, the moment I'm aware, when I'm harboring negative emotions, it doesn't belong to me. It's just a matter of time till you get rid of it. If you just focus on what we want and not on what we do not want, then we achieve the amazing life of Sarah. And the Zohar continues, why 127? And the Zohar says it's all above. These numbers are numbers of the divine. 100 is Keter. What is Keter? When you receive, how much do you want to receive? 10. No, I should, settle for 2. 1.5. This is not allowed by the law, the cosmic law. We were created to receive, and we are supposed to receive all that light the Creator wants to give us. One condition. If you want 10, you should give 10. 10 by 10, 100. That's 100. 10 by 10 means that you can reach by the ultimate giving, sharing, and the will to be there for others. You reach that level that is called Keter, the crown, the top of the sphere. And what do you meet over there? You meet the desire of the Creator to share with humanity. When you do that, then you realize the real reality, that we're here to receive the joy. And part of the price is to overcome the challenges, to overcome the angel of death that is just there to make sure we don't get it for free. Because free lunches, they don't stay. Okay? What is 20? If it's that 10 plus 10, you want 10 and you give 10, that's 20. Chokhmah and Binah. What's Chokhmah and Binah? Chokhmah connects to our right brain. Okay? And Binah, and what is the right brain? Right brain is being artistic. It's ideas. It's higher emotions. It's creativity. Okay? But it's all like in the air. Left brain, Binah, it's about the ability to manifest it. When we put them together, okay, the great ideas and the practical manifestation, Chokhmah Binah, then you get Chokhmah Binah, that's 20. So 100, 20. 7 Now we have 7 more sefirot of manifestation. Here it's in years. Why years? Because this world is seven. 7 seas, 7 continents, 7 days a week. The seven is our world, it's fragmented. You need to connect to the upper Keter Chochmah Binah with the sharing, with the commitment for spirituality. So only then you can see that all the little details, it's all part of that big picture. And by this, we can achieve our greatness. Again, 2 more things in this parasha. Abraham acquires one of the most precious uh, real estate uh, assets in the world, the cave of Machpelah. What does it mean, Machpelah? Machpelah in Hebrew means to double. Why? The double life. This is where, and then we learn that that's the place the Zohar teaching is teaching us, that the Garden of Eden is touching the physical earth. Isn't that exactly what we're talking about? How can, in the same time, a person can live his physical body in the physical world, eat, sell, buy, whatever, at the same time be in the side, in your inner core, you are in the Garden of Eden. And you live in those 2 worlds, and that's our purpose. This is where we're supposed to live. If we don't do that, we pay a heavy price till we find the opportunity to exalt and do that. And then Abraham is buying the cave. Machpelah means also to fold one upon another. Okay? Then he's buying with 400 shekel kesef. Kesef means silver, but it means also yearning. You want to achieve greatness, you have to pay the price. You have to exalt by giving. And then you get 400 worlds of happiness and exaltation. The next story, Abraham is sending his servant Eliezer to find a wife for Isaac. And he prays, he's asking for an omen. And immediately, the moment he stopped praying, Rivka is coming in. What are the chances that it will happen? It is to teach us only when we are deep inside with faith and with conviction and with study. That's why you have to study all the time. We train our brain and our hearts to connect to the world of truth, to the world of Gan Eden, the Garden of Eden. Then we can find the right asset to buy. We know where to sell. We are being guided who to marry, and the connection will happen that you will marry the right person in the right time. And if you're not, oh, it's going to be hell. It's going to go down the hill because all your life you'll be dying day by day, minute by minute, till the final blow. And that's not living. That's simply living death. So here we have a great gift, and we should be thankful for that. Hayei Sarah is not just for this week, of the challenges of this week, it's for the whole year long. Thank you so much, and have a great